Halloween is fast approaching and we're seeing a lot of designs done with pumpkins, etc. for Halloween. But I thought I'd show you something a little bit different, a slightly different idea and a different take on Halloween. I set up using a stand that I had from Glenwood, and then I have bamboo sticks. Now this is the bamboo that I grow in the garden, and I've taken off the side shoots and actually strapped them onto the end to create what I think looks a bit like a broomstick. So we have a besom broomstick coming across the design. I have a saucer on the top, which unfortunately is white, but I'm hoping we will cover that up fairly easily. And then I have threaded apples onto a wire, and to make them stay on the wire, a little bit of stick underneath each one just holds it in place on the wire. I'm going to start off into the back using the kale. This one is the green curly kale. Husband doesn't like to eat it, so that's absolutely fine by me because I get to use it for flower arranging. I use apples really because when I grew up, of course, we did not have trick-or-treat. Trick-or-treat was an American thing that has come into the country in much more recent years. And when I grew up, we would have a Halloween party, but it involved things like apple bobbing. So you had to have a barrel of apples and your hands behind your back and grab an apple out of the barrel. So that was a little bit of fun, doing the apples onto the string as though we are going to be apple bobbing. So try to keep this fairly low in the top here to actually create much more of a horizontal design. And using the curly kale as a really good rough texture to cover up the foam at the back there. And then I have the Hedera canariensis, which is going to, a lovely smooth leaf, which is going to do the same job for me but at the front. Yes, apple bobbing was the thing in my day. I'm not quite sure how people are going to get on trick-or-treating this year, and I know I'm doing this all wrong for a video because you can't see me behind the arrangement, but hopefully you can see the arrangement and hear me talking. So trick-or-treat, I'm not sure how it will go down this year, how many people will be able to go out and do trick-or-treat, but the one thing you could do is you could have a little party with the children and go to some of the old traditions like using the apples. There are a number of superstitions, of course, with apples and Halloween. One my grandmother used to tell me was quite an interesting one. She told me that you should eat an apple by candlelight in front of the mirror at midnight on All Hallows Eve, brushing your hair. If you do that, the man you are to marry will look over your shoulder in the mirror. Now what I want to know is what he's doing in your bedroom. So I don't know quite whether it works. I've never tried it myself, but you never know. So to create a bit more of a layer with this, I'm going to put in some of the Nicandria. I think the black seed pods of this, they are naturally black. I grow it in full sunlight and they come out with this wonderful, wonderful black colour. You have to take the leaves off and you can get these strange branches. It is an annual. It grows very, very easily for me. It self-seeds every year. And I have found that the ones that self-seed do far better than the ones I grow from seed and try to plant out. So quite why that would be, I don't know, but it certainly turns out that way. That is a fabulously shaped piece. I've got to try and use it somewhere. One of the ones on there was a little young, so I'll just nip that off. It's not lasting well. This, of course, is a bract. Its common name is shoe fly. Please do not muddle it up with physalis, because it is not physalis and it is not edible. I want that side or that side? That side, I think. I thought they look a bit like bats flying around. And then to extend that as well, some of the amaranthus, the green amaranthus. Now, this year I grew a variety pack of seed. I grew the one that had mixed red and green. I have about 45 to 50 red plants. This is the only green one. So I decided to pick the only green one to come into this design, this arrangement. It has the most wonderful, wonderful trails, doesn't it? They really do have such movement, and it has this nice form and texture. So you can just see the trail on that. I'm not sure that I want that bit big, so I might have to take that out and often use it in another arrangement. So just allowing those to flow over the side, that side of the arrangement. You can just see how that's building up. And then into the centre I want to put some apples. During the rest of the year I don't use apples or fruits in arrangements unless it's for something specific, for a dinner party or whatever, because fruit does give off ethylene gas. So the ripening fruit gives off this gas which actually matures your flowers as well. So your flowers won't last as well if they are mixed in with fruit. These are windfall apples, so they're not at their best. I did pick them up from the floor before my husband drove over them. And I will tell you that I have made, I think, probably about 50 pots of crabapple jelly and crabapple and rosehip jelly, which has worked very well this year. The blackberries were not really good enough to do much blackberry jelly, so I didn't do any this year. It's a little bit sad because that's one of my favourites. So just following the line of the apples up into the arrangement to create a rhythm through the whole arrangement. And then just to add a little bit of flour, I have just some of the dahlias, the white pom-pom dahlias. Which have done me very well this year. I've cut quite a lot and used them for a local hostelry. So there are other superstitions with apples and knowing the person who's going to marry you. The one where you peel it in one piece and drop the peel onto the floor, onto the table, and when it drops onto the table it will fall in the initial of the person you are to marry. So I said I never tried any of them myself. My mother hated dahlias. Well, I wouldn't say hated them, she didn't like them very much. I think because she always thought they were always full of earwigs. I have to say I don't find that here. I've never found earwigs in them, but we do get slugs. So I wouldn't be putting this one on a table until I was sure there were no slugs involved. And one more dahlia. In there. So a very quick and easy design based on apple bobbing and having your broomstick ready for Halloween. Thank you for watching.